When we think of ancient Stoic philosophers, we often imagine men who faced battles, hardships, and loss with calm resilience. But many of the principles they left behind hold valuable lessons for our relationships today. Take Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, who said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This guiding wisdom reminds us that how we perceive and react to relationships directly influences our sense of self-worth and contentment. In relationships, especially romantic ones, many men find themselves caught in emotional traps. They may place their partners on pedestals, chase after attention, or lose sight of their own value. But what if there was a way to break this cycle, an approach that aligns with both psychology and Stoicism? Through techniques rooted in reverse psychology, you can rebuild your self-esteem, take control of your emotions, and create a balanced dynamic in relationships. Here's how you can apply these 5 powerful principles inspired by Stoicism to reclaim your strength without resorting to manipulation. Number 1. Avoid placing her on a pedestal. One of the fundamental Stoic ideas is that our perception shapes our experience. In relationships, when you idealize someone to the point of elevating them far above yourself, you create a hierarchy that can be difficult to balance. When you place a woman on a pedestal, you signal to her and to yourself that your worth is less than hers, subtly implying that your happiness depends on her validation. However, Stoic philosophy teaches us to cultivate inner respect, not dependent on external validation. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Never esteem anything as advantageous that will make you break your word or lose your self-respect." If you're constantly seeking her approval, you're likely to lose self-respect and dignity. Attraction is built on respect, and without self-respect, genuine attraction fades. Stoicism urges you to value your own character and actions, rather than constantly comparing yourself to others. So instead of treating her as superior, appreciate her as a partner, but maintain a grounded self-respect. Number 2. Master the power of silence. The silent treatment is often misunderstood as a weapon of manipulation, but in reality, it can serve as a powerful tool for introspection and establishing boundaries when used with purpose. When you choose silence, not out of anger, but as a means to reflect, you create space for both parties to evaluate their actions. In Stoic philosophy, silence isn't a retreat, it's a strategy to avoid unnecessary conflict and regain control over your emotional state. As Marcus Aurelius observed, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Using silence to respond instead of reacting impulsively puts you back in control. It allows the other person to reflect on their actions and often leads them to reevaluate how they interact with you. Silence can communicate more than words. It speaks of self-restraint, patience, and strength. However, be mindful not to overuse this technique. Prolonged silence can result in emotional distance and misunderstandings. Use it sparingly to invite introspection, restore balance, and establish your boundaries. Number 3. Stop chasing her attention. When you constantly seek attention, it implies that you need validation, which can quickly erode respect in a relationship. Stoicism teaches us to be self-sufficient and find contentment within, a principle that holds true in relationships as well. Women often test men to gauge their confidence and resilience. These tests are instinctive and tap into a natural desire for stability, but they can throw a man off balance if he doesn't recognize them for what they are. Aurelius advised, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Instead of chasing, focus on developing yourself. When you value yourself independently of her validation, you become inherently more attractive. The less you seek attention, the more mysterious and valuable you appear, as people tend to value what is scarce. By maintaining your own pursuits and passions, you demonstrate strength, which draws her in naturally. Number 4. Cultivate emotional resilience. Emotional resilience is the foundation of Stoic philosophy. In relationships, it's essential to hold on to this strength, as it defines your self-worth and sense of stability. The Stoics believe that our suffering often comes from within, and that we suffer most when we let our imagination spiral out of control. Seneca famously said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." When you focus on controlling your thoughts, you master your emotions. In relationships, this emotional stability can be transformative. Women are naturally drawn to men who project calm and stability, especially during conflict. When you react with anger or frustration, you show a lack of control, making you appear unstable. Instead, embrace the Stoic principle of maintaining an inner calm. Emotional resilience attracts admiration and respect, as it shows strength and self-discipline, qualities that are universally appealing. Number 5. Prioritize your self-esteem. Finally, your self-esteem is the foundation of all relationships, including the one with yourself. Marcus Aurelius advised, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If you constantly see yourself as lesser or in need of validation, it will impact every interaction. Elevate your self-esteem by recognizing your inherent worth. When you have healthy self-esteem, you make decisions that reflect a balanced sense of self. Studies have shown that people with higher self-esteem experience greater overall well-being and are more likely to attract positive relationships. By practicing self-respect and maintaining a strong sense of self, you become someone who doesn't need to chase or impress others for validation. Instead, you stand as a whole, self-assured individual. Stoicism teaches that true happiness and satisfaction come from within, not from external validation. A Stoic tale, Epictetus and the Vase. Epictetus, a slave who became a famous Stoic philosopher, taught that our reactions to events are more important than the events themselves. In one story, he observed a man distressed about his broken vase. Epictetus simply replied, "Remember, it is made of clay, just like any other vase." For Epictetus, the attachment to objects or people is often the source of suffering. He saw the world as a place where things come and go, but our peace of mind depends on how we view these changes. This story relates to the emotional attachments we form in relationships. If you base your happiness on external things, like a partner's approval or constant validation, you'll feel disappointed whenever that vase breaks. Relationships, like any vase, are beautiful yet fragile. Stoic philosophy teaches that we should cherish them without becoming overly attached, allowing us to appreciate what we have without suffering when it's no longer there. So, applying these principles requires effort and awareness. It's about changing your perspective and taking responsibility for your emotions and reactions. By avoiding the urge to chase validation, embracing silence for introspection, and prioritizing your self-worth, you not only transform your relationships, but also yourself. This journey is not about punishment or control over another person, but about self-mastery. Stoicism teaches that when you stop focusing on controlling others and start focusing on yourself, you achieve the true freedom and strength that lie within. So, next time you feel the urge to react impulsively in a relationship, remember the words of Marcus Aurelius. "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Use these principles to reclaim your power and cultivate a relationship dynamic built on respect, balance, and mutual admiration. Are you ready to embrace Stoic strength in your relationships? This path requires patience and resilience, but it leads to lasting self-worth and inner peace. Let us know in the comments how you plan to incorporate these Stoic strategies into your life and elevate your relationships to new levels.